So, hey guys, and welcome to XP11. So, today we're taking the ToLiss A319 for a flight today. A flight that someone had requested for me to do, flying from, where was it? Well, I should know this, I'm actually here. Belfast to Manchester. You know it's great when you're actually sitting at the airport and have forgotten where you are. Yeah, so we're currently at Belfast Aldergrove, and we will be flying to Manchester. It's about 30 minutes of airtime today, but I'm sure we can gain a few minutes in the air. So we shall set the aircraft up. Welcome Finley, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. How are you doing? So, at this point the battery's running, the external power is on. And so now we're going to set the aircraft up, bring it all to live. So we do that and set everything else up as well. Welcome Sam, welcome Finn, how are you both doing? Also I should remember to let up IVAO, because if the online network's not running then that's going to cause a problem. I'm also going to get rid of these, because I have got this disabled right now. So, how are you both doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Let's just connect up to IVAO. Give that 2 seconds. We are flying easyJet, flying an A319 in easyJet colours. Cool. So, let's set this aircraft up. First things first, we'll turn up the brightness for the panels, because as those defaults, it's all in dark. So let's turn it all up. Same for the captain side. Same for the central panels, ECAM upper and lower. And that should be that. Ready to come on. 1, 2, and 3. Welcome Harry. How are you doing? Welcome on Twitch. I'm good. It's been an alright week so far. No real complaints from me. So, as I try and do now, every Wednesday we'll do a stream, and then every Saturday and Sunday. Also try and move this microphone a little bit so it's not removing my shoulder at the moment. Right, that's all looking good. Let's get this IRS aligned. We are on battery power at the moment, so we will need to refuel, so we'll get that sorted as well. And that should be fine. The A320 is not a difficult aircraft setup, so we shall do that. So, Belfast to Manchester. Flight number is U22136. That's someone who's called me there, but obviously not. We'll align the IRS. Cost index is going to be 15. And a cruising altitude of 230. It's not a very high cruise today, but as I say, it's only about half an hour of airtime today. Don't think I have too much of that. You sure this is train sim? Okay, I need to double check that. Cheers for that, Sam. Welcome Finley, how you doing? Right, let's go to not performance. We need to set up the flight plan, don't we? We'll also bring this panel up as well. First things first, let's refuel the aircraft and start the passengers. So we'll be doing this on ToLiss screen. We had 142 passengers on board this flight today, so we're setting that up as well. Ground services, loading performance. That's to 142. Packs distribution cargo, that's fine. Fuel on board is 4849. So 48, that'll be 4900. The ZFW is apparently way off. There's a way to balance that out. Probably not. Unless we were to reduce a lot of the cargo on board. There we go. It accepts that. We'll accept that. Quick fuel as well. And flight plan, we'll set that up shortly as well. FMS, let's head over to here. Let's set up the FMS. So ZFW is 56.623. Centre of gravity is 27.9. Block fuel is 4.9. That looks good. Let's pop up the pack screen and let's say hello to our passengers today. So start a flight from Echo Golf Alpha Alpha to Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Quite nice ICA codes, both airports there. Flight number is U22136, cruising at 23,000. Flight time is 55 minutes total. Time to take off is about 12 minutes, we'll say 11 from the time we finish this. Aircraft is an Airbus A319 carrying 142 passengers on board. No Wi-Fi, no entertainment, no music. We have got safety briefing, so I'll put the easyJet on that. Have snacks, no meals. Cool. So our passengers will now be boarding the aircraft over the next couple of minutes. We'll have a look at those in more detail once we're in the air. So back to the FMS. Let's get the rest of this going, shall we? Don't want to pull that out actually. I think we're quite happy with this. Flight plan. We're on 122.8 Unicom. I don't think there's any active towers. Which version of X-Plane am I using? I'm using X-Plane 11.5, so I'm currently using Vulcan X-Plane. What was I going to do? I was going to start Projects Fly as well while we're at it, so that you guys can track me on that. And I'm not using any smart cars, so no need for that today. I don't think there's any active control towers at the moment. Nope, we're on Unicom today. Although, we'll see how that changes once we're in the air. What are you using for safety announcements? Oh, right, so that is called PAX. It's an add-on by TFDI Design, and basically it's a passenger simulator add-on. So, in fact, while they're boarding, let's speak to them, shall we? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flights Easy136 from Belfast to Manchester. We're just in the final stages of preparing the aircraft for takeoff, and we ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy your flights. Any questions, feel free to park cabin crew today. And so, with PAX, you can speak to your passengers. So this was a public address, general one. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flights Easy136. It will then play back your messages in like a pilot voice filter thing. And yeah, passengers will react to you as you're flying. Any questions, feel free to park cabin crew today. Cabin crew with full sound. We have safe demonstration briefing as well. If you don't have like a custom one, it will use their default safe briefings and all that, which is always good as well. And I don't know, it's just like a nice extra level of simulation. So yes, that's PAX TFDI. Sorry, PAX by TFDI Design. So you actually talk to passengers, of course, and that's one of the little things I like about it. Because I was for a long time an FS passengers person. For the most part, it was the only reason I was still using FSX, because I could not fly without FS passengers. That extra bit of simulation was just fantastic. So PAX does a nice job at filling that void. Alright, let's plug in our flight plan before I forget. So, first point is Lisbo. Presumably the one that's closest to us. Following Lisbo, it's a Lima 603. To Pepod. Then it's Quebec 38 to Gigto. And then it's South Alty actually, so inside that our flight plan's done. It's a very short flight, this one. The stream won't be on for too long, to say the least. Alright, let's plug our departure in. So as it stands, we'll be using runway 07 on a direct point. Yeah, no SID available, so select you. Temporary flight plan, all will be fine. Insert that. Next thing is, let's double check, barometer reference discrepancy. We will set that as well. Let's get a weather update while we're here. Echo Golf Alpha Alpha 1036, quite a high QNH today, I must say. 1036, 1036. When's, yeah, 1009 knots. All clear skies. RSV lined in 3 minutes, which is nice for us. Fuel's already on board, so we can get rid of the tug and turn on the seatbelt sign, as well as turn on the fuel pumps. So everything is seatbelt sign on. Smoking sign's just on automatically these days. All the pumps can now come on. Everything's set to Unicom, which is fine. So it's set to false the terrain GTX, but I presume that will change once the engine's on. How's London Reading Airport going? I'm going to do another stream on that at some point, but yeah, 9 hour, sorry, that was like an 11 hour live stream of Airport CEO. That was a long one, but we'll definitely do more of it at some point in the near future if you guys are interested. Don't think I'll do it this weekend though, maybe next weekend. Right, 2 minutes to alignment, that's all fine. As soon as that's aligned, we'll turn on the AP, sorry, and then we'll get that going. Let's plug in our departure, shall we? So bring back the ToLiss menu, and we will be selecting flaps 2, active flight plan, 150, 150, 152 rotate. Oh, it's 150 rotate, 152 lift off. Flaps will be 2/.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath
flaps
the seat
2
in front
up
of you.
0.4.
Unless you're in
Flaps
the
10
front row,
is
please
66.
place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist.
Can't find it. It's possible to type it in chat.
The overhead bin is
Sure.
full. After you put your carry-on inside of it, please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers
In fact, I'll just drop you a link to it.
If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know so you can be reseated.
Yeah, so you can hear that.
Get out any last-minute text messages if you need to, but we ask that once you depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or tablets. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
So, as you can hear, the cabin crew have just briefed the passengers now on board. And so, that means we'll be ready to go very shortly. No worries, hope you enjoy it. Enjoying the Airbus? Yeah, I've got no problem with the Airbus. I mean, I've always been more of a Boeing person, but I'll fly an Airbus. Within reason. Nah, I've never had a massive thing. I mean, Boeings are good in some aspects, Airbus are good in others. It's a very automated aeroplane, this. Why can't I start the APU? Fuel pumps are active. There we go, it just took a few seconds to warm up. Let's get this information up as well. So, Echo Alpha. Let's also get our destination on. Let's also get our alternative up, which is Heathrow apparently. So I've got our 3 airports up. Refresh the page, refresh all of them actually as well, just while we're at it. Yeah, so as I say, winds are now 6 knots, 140, runway 7 departure, QNH 1036. That is fine. We don't have any charts unfortunately, and the maps won't really do too much for us. I'll just confirm that we are Belfast. Alright, so let's go back to the airports, leave it on this page for now. Alright, what's V2? So V1 is your point of no return, which is when you're too fast to basically stop, and if you have to stop, then you have to go up anyway, come back around and land. So once you're no point of no return, VR is your rotate, so the moment you start lifting back on the yoke or the stick, V2 is the moment your wheels lift off the ground. So there's a few moments where you're pulling up, but the aircraft doesn't actually lift off yet because the angle of attack is wrong. And so essentially if you pull up at the right point, then V2 determines when your wheels are off the ground. That's all fine. We'll stick you on the flight plan page. I think we are pretty much ready to go, actually. 2 minutes to our expected parts, so probably. Switch to external power. Let us clear all the ground vehicles and secure all the exits. So close, 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 and close. They can now leave. They can now leave. Probably turn on the appropriate lighting as well, which will be navigation lights, no logo. No, yes, yes. Since we are also ready for engine start at this point, let's call over the pushback tug. And let's get ourselves ready to go. Pushback to here. And while that's on its way, runway 07, let's just familiar ourselves with that. 17.7. So basically, taxi to the end, make a right turn, and it's right to the end. Cool. Welcome Saturn, how you doing? Welcome channel, welcome to the chat. Quite late here in India, around midnight, still watching your stream. We'll leave shortly. No worries, man. As I say, it's not a very long flight tonight, but I can imagine it is probably quite late in India actually, so yeah, you do you. Take care. Right, 23,000 cruise. No packs. Sorry, no, yeah, it's packs. No packs, it's all automated in the Airbus. I'm not sure why there's no communications from the better pushback. Preferences. Fine. Check my audio. Yeah, okay, ToLiss does that sometimes. That's fine.
We're ready to go when you are.
Thank you. Welcome, Jacob. I'm not doing too bad myself. How about you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
Presumably we'll be ready to go shortly. Again, they're not giving me any audio at the moment, so now we'll be lifted right now anyway.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback and you may start engines.
Engine start approved. So switch over to ignition 2. Engine 2 starts. If I've done that right, which I have done, N2 will now start up. And we should get our easyJet safety briefing now. Man, take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit.
That explains why I didn't hear any
Please
audio.
be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from the bus. Pull a mask towards you to start helmet. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust.
Engine 1 is
Put on
active.
your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together. And pull the strap to adjust. Do not
There we go.
inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle.
Ignition
If it
off.
fails to inflate or needs
Operation
topping up,
complete.
blow into the
Set
tube.
parking brake.
There is a
Parking
light
brake
and whistle for
set.
attracting attention.
AP can come
Disconnecting
off.
tow. Stand by.
For children. tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight
That's
with
down
easyJet.
2.
Cabin is ready.
Fires brakes on, auto brake max, and cabin check. Cool. Cabin is secure. Takeoff checklist complete. Airbus. Find the Airbus A319 from ToLiss in easyJet colours.
ToLiss disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Probably asked in the previous stream, but favourite train sim DLC? Probably the 390 Pendolino Advance. Great train, I do enjoy it. Otherwise, I do like the Metropolitan line by Just Trains. It's nice to have a proper underground route. And the freeware district line as well is pretty good as well from the district line projects. Hand signal given. We can now taxi. Taxi lights on. Parking brake released. Let's get going. So, gonna make our way down to runway 07, sorry. Then it will be... cabin lights apparently being dimmed, so is it late enough now to actually go through that process? In that case, during landing, we may even turn on the logo lights, we'll see. So, as I say, we're gonna make our way to the runway now. All the parts, make a right hand turn essentially straight away. That will put us onto a direct course to Manchester. Then it will be up to 23,000. Won't be there for too long cruising, forcing our top of descent. And then I will have a look at our approach plan to Manchester in just a couple of minutes. Don't think there'll be any air controller today, although we'll see how that changes once we're in the air. About to cross an active runway, so we will turn the transponder to active. As well as bring the landing lights on, just in case that somebody does decide to enter the runway. I see it's further back than it should be. Let me just quickly, whoops. Yeah, just adjust its position slightly. That. And hopefully now I can see out the window a little better. Yeah, much better. I'm just seeing the seat cushion there. Right, landing lights come off, since now off the runway. We'll leave the transponder running since we're about to enter the active runway anyway for departure. Let's hope the flight doesn't crash. I don't think it will. FSX explained did quite well. Hope you're doing a Microsoft Flight Simulator FSX or P3X plane. I mean, I did P3X plane like a week ago, so that video does exist. Feel free to check it out. As soon as Microsoft Flight Simulator releases, I'll give it a few weeks of playing around, and then of course I'll do a comparison video for that one as well. Right, landing lights active. Let's announce on Unicom that we're about to depart. We'll do that through Auto Unicom, which is again a very nice feature of IVAO. Right, line up and take off runway 07. Alright, let's get going. Was flattered in Russia. That was Moscow to Izhevsk in the Sukhoi Superjet 100 Aeroflot colours. And we did that flight on Saturday, if I recall correctly. Yes, we did that on Saturday. Sunday I then did the train simulator stream. Bring on the chrono. Should also remember. Cabin crew, please be seated for departure. Should never forget to tell the cabin crew to
Not a problem.
sit down. Right, let's get going. Chrono is on. Both engines are stable. Let's get going. Remember, it's 150 rotate today. V1 rotates. V2. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps up to 1. Should nose down a slight bit. And let's bring the aircraft onto autopilot. Throttle goes back to throttle climb. So, that was departure. That was very simple. Get ready for flaps 1 shortly. Just got a little bit to go before we do that. But yeah, nice and simple departure. And then, essentially, as soon as we're in the air, we now need to set up our landing procedure into Manchester. So, spoilers go back. Landing lights onto about 10,000 feet. Aircraft now do a job getting onto the flight plan. There's Belfast. I've not been to Belfast myself. I am hoping to go to it there some point in the not too distant future. My family have been there, but me personally not yet. Very nice scenery. I'm not sure if I've got any modded scenery here. I don't think so. I think it's default actually, so very, very nice from explaining that. Favourite de Havilland aircraft. Yours is the Twin Otter, followed by the Comets. Favourite de Havilland? I'm not too sure, to be truthfully honest. Actually, yeah, I can give you. It's Q400s, the Dash 8. The Twatter's the DHC6, the Q400s is the DHC 8. Standing altimeter, left and right. Aircraft continues to climb. Landing lights goes off shortly. Actually, that down there is the city of Belfast itself, so get a chance to have a look at the towns we go by. How do you get the overlay? That's in OBS. I'm using Fly Live Studio for the actual changing text, and then I designed the actual layout of it yourself, because with Fly Live Studio, you kind of create your own overlay and put it onto the stream, so OBS with Fly Live. Ooh, a little bit of turbulence there, I must say. Definitely the aircraft able to kick that. And we're passing through 8,000 now. Flight level 080. $1,000 now to go until landmarks come off, and then we program our approach. For the most part though, what will it be? Runway 05 right on the Merseyside, the Merseyside arrival. Landmarks off, and we will turn on the logo lights. just for the sake of we are below 10,000 again, and the sun has set enough. Let's see that sign, we can turn that off now. Let's tell Pax that we've done the same. And as we're on climb out, let's have a look at our passengers, shall we? So, yeah. For a few of them, it's a fairly mixed aircraft, male and female. Most people are alright or happy. No one particularly sad. They got a few hungry and thirsty passengers on board, but once the crew do their snack service, then I'm sure a few of those will change. That's looking good. As I say, as always, you can track me on project flights, so feel free to look for the little aircraft just departing out of Northern Ireland, heading towards the UK. Right, let's do our approach now, shall we? So, head over to flight plan, to our destination, set the arrival, 05 right, I think I said it was, yes it was. What message did we? Delta Whiskey, that's Dublin. Merseyside arrival. It was the 2 Delta, if I've got it. Yes, Merseyside's 2 Delta. No Vibe, I don't think. It's got gig toe. Nope, so then no Via. That is that, I think. Temporary flight plan. Check for any inconsistencies. It goes from gig toe straight to Iribar and then onto the approach. That as a flight plan. We'll keep monitoring Unicom and ATC just in case someone does log on, but on a flight at this length at this time, I don't think we will do. Yeah, flying good old easyJets, right? Flying them a couple of times. With easyJet, it's one of those where I fly them often, then I have a long gap. I fly them often, long gap, fly them often and so forth. So I've flown them from, flown them twice, Inverness and back. Should have flown them back from Dusseldorf a couple of weeks ago, but that trip got cancelled. And, well yeah, we'll see if I do fly this yet again soon. Well, I don't think I'm going to fly anyone soon, but, yeah. Why better than the original XP11? I'm not sure I'm not sure, I can't talk today, I don't know why. Probably I'm a bit dehydrated and need to drink water. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Jacob. Why better than the original explain? ETA for Manchester is about 25 minutes, which is crazy given that we've just departed. So, yes, 25 minutes, our estimated time of arrival into Manchester. There's a few aircraft in the area, but ultimately it's quite calm in the airspace. Back. Zyber PMDG. I mean, out of the two, I'd definitely say PMDG, given the extras that you get, the EFB and all the mods and all that. You do get a few more variations 77 with Zybo in the Ultimate Team, but, and I'm not saying that Avitab is bad by any means, but there's just a few things that the PMDG does which I do really like, especially NGXU. And the EFB is fantastic in that. I mean, ToLiss is good for the SCS screen, so you got your performance information that you can then load up and mess around with. Like, all of that, I love it, and this is why I do love flying the ToLiss. The Zybo doesn't give you so much information like that. A lot of it is automated, or you have to calculate more manually, which is, again, it's more realistic, but there is a point where you want to have a gap between realism and giving you the information just in front of you to play around with. What I mean is that when Project flies on, it makes it way better than explaining without it. Oh yeah, I mean, product that I've used for a little while now. I like the way it just locks your flights and gives you on a map. Right, I've reached our top of cruise now. Quick check, we are descending in 50 miles. Currently over the Atlantic. Possibly spot the Isle of Man at some point. No, Man, the Isle of... It is the Isle of Man, isn't it? Between the UK and Ireland. Yeah, I can tell on the terrain radar, but it's not really showing me much apart from there's an island to my left and nothing to my right. Nothing to your right. Yeah, I don't really need terrain until we're going to my like mountainous and hilly. The only airport you'd really want to maybe use it is in Cardiff if you're doing an approach from the north, but other than that, UK is generally flat enough to live without it. Check over the overhead, make sure everything is looking normal. Which it does. So far so good. Enter station data, we've already done that, thank you very much. Radio navigation should set to Manchester as soon as the updates. Yeah, not yet, I'll clear that. FPS, I'm guessing a solid 60 at the moment. Just check it on screen there if you want to, but yeah, solid 60 without too much of a problem. Of course, you can advertise to kill it a little bit, but not much to complain about really. Since Vulcan was introduced, I've definitely seen things run a lot smoother than used to. Vulcan's definitely the future for X-Plane. My specs are down in the description, you can check them out there. Otherwise I'm running a GTX 1660 with an i7-6700 processor and 16 gigs of DDR2 RAM. Can't remember if it's DDR2 or DDR3, but 16 gigs or whatever it is. So, that below us is the Isle of Man. Just between the Isle of Man and the UK is the Isle of Sodor, where Thomas and his friends roam the railways. But sadly does not exist in real life. Good FPS and good graphics. Yeah. Oh, what PC would you recommend? Build your own and basically look at the minimum specs that's on the X-Plane website and build it off of that. I mean, they have got a recommended spec, and essentially what they talk about there is what you want to be aiming for. Nothing in particular I can give you other than follow the guidelines that Laminar have given you. And the benefit of X-Plane is that you don't have to run a Windows machine either. You can run Linux, you can run Mac if you want to. X-Plane will work across all platforms. Slightly higher spec requirements than P3D, but P3D is limited to Windows and DirectX 12. For more detail, check out my comparison video I did. Nah, it's all good. It's all in good fun. Right, 10 miles an hour to the top of descent. Let's get ready for an approach, shall we? Check ahead. How's the flight plan looking? So come in, make a turn to the left, make a right, join the approach, and land 06. We've been live for 40 minutes now. Thought this would be a lot quicker than that. I mean, 40 minutes is about the estimated flight time for this. I'm already well over halfway. Is that good? What do you mean, is that good? The recommended specs? Because if that's what you mean, then absolutely, because if that's what X-Plane are using it for their own setup, then yeah, it'd be great. Because I run a medium-high system, so graphics card is a very medium-high spec. 1660 is not last gen, it's current gen graphics, but definitely up there. Runs a lot of modern stuff quite nicely. An i7-6700 is now a fairly old card, so a fairly old processor, so that's that. The Link has a Ryzen 5 with RTX 2070, and yeah, I mean that's a good spec if that's what they're recommending, but it won't come cheap, that's for sure. And absolutely build your own. Try not to go for a store-built system. Welcome William, how are you? Running IVAO, not BatSim. $1,100s. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the ballpark figure of what you'd expect to spend. You'd probably find it a bit cheaper if you went source past a bit more depth, but yeah, it's kind of what you're looking at. Mining all cost me about $500-600 in total. Is it true it'll be ATC on IVAO? To an extent. So you do need training to go for like a center or a tower, but you don't need training to be a ground, a clearance, or an approach. So there are some training required for the bigger centres. Likewise for rural airports as well, then you can do a lot more than say London Heathrow, which is locked off to those who basically have no training whatsoever. So yeah, has its upsides, has its downsides, and that the quality of ATC may not always be great, but personally I've not yet come across any bad ATC. Although I did come across an argument between two Spanish controllers, which was quite inadvertently funny, I'm not going to lie. Tuned into one of the ATC centres in Spain, and basically one of them logged in with a wrong name or something, or they'd logged in with the wrong location, and they basically started having a shouting match with one another. CTR is not on. Does the app take over a certain area? I'm not sure what you mean by... Oh, centre. No, so centre's the top, which is the whole area. So if you're going about top down, this is how it works. So you have centre at the top. Then you have... No, actually, talking about top down is better from the bottom. So you have clearance delivery at the bottom. They only do clearance, no aircraft manoeuvring. Then you have ground. Then you have tower. Then you have... approach, and then you have center at the top. And so center top can control everything down below, but you can't go up tiers. So ground can do clearance, but they can't do tower. Tower can do ground and clearance, but it can't do rivals and center. So you can go down tiers, but you can't go up tiers. What do you think the FPS would be on speculation above the next plane? I mean, is a Ryzen 5 compatible with an RTX 2070? I'm not so sure. If it is, then yeah, that'd be fantastic. Because that's a top graphics card, a top processor. Although I need to do a bit of research into how AMD and NVIDIA cards and processors talk to one another. Yeah, it's the same way as in VATSIM, the way they deal with controls and tabs and all that. It's all based on top-down. Yeah, it's all looking good so far. So we're now passing through 18,000. We'll turn on the seatbelt sign again, since we are soon to reach enough altitude for all this. Now you keep asking, but it's not getting to your head. If the local centre isn't on, and would you be handed to an approach or after takeoff? Yeah, so approach can also do departures, but only to an extent. Once you reach a certain distance from the airport, then you'll be transferred over to Unicom. But essentially, all approach's job is to make sure that aircraft within the vicinity of the airport don't collide into one another. So they manage departures to guide them away from the airport, and they also manage approaches to bring them into the airport from a different area. Doing for this approach so far? Should be at 12,000 in 10 miles. We'll monitor this first bit. If we're too high, then we'll do a holding point at Merseyside. No worries, William. Always happy to help. Welcome to Liverpool. And welcome to the Mersey River, where it's always brown. I'm sorry, Liverpudlians and Manx, but unfortunately, it is a fact of life. The Mersey River is just basically a mud bath. Now we're into the approach. Now passing through 15,000. Spoilers in, shall we? And our speed's supposed to be as well. 274 down to 250. The control tower. Also, let's make sure everything's set as well. So 06 right. Start. We are currently approaching via. What was it? There's a 2 Delta. Check for air traffic control. No one's on. It's on Unicom. Welcome, Christian. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Of course, just in time for 10 actually, because the flight is so short and yeah, for a very little period of time. That there is supposed to be Anfield. That's the Liverpool Stadium. And nearby, we should also see the Everton Stadium. I can't remember the name of. Let's live Everton's ground. You have Anfield, you have... I'm sorry, Everton fans, but just can't remember. Back from work. Sounds good, man. Hope you had a good one. Love that overlay. Oh, okay, it's nice and simple. Right, it's about past through 10,000, so we're already below 250. Check how high should we be? Should be a lot lower than we are currently at. We're past below 10,000 now, but we are above 250 as I've just realised. Thank you, flaps alarm. Put some spoilers in. Let's slow the plane down. Landing lights come on. And as also announced, cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. Request, that should be a generic look. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. A lot of ice cream. Living the dream, my friend. Free ice cream for life. No flaps yet, okay. 230, so we'll be slowing down shortly anyway. Check the ATC for chatter. Still more Dublin traffic. No one yet for the Manchester or Liverpool, which I'm monitoring. Liverpool we should be able to spot from our position. It's just on the side of the Mersey River. Maybe not from this position at least, but Liverpool's not too far away. John Lennon being the namesake for this airport. Still at 240. There we go, we'll slow down now, won't we? Right, now entering the Star. Do you think Pack's worth buying? Really got invested. Can't afford to get paid for your work. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that you can speak to your passengers and interact with them and all that. It's a nice little add-on. It won't be everyone's cup of tea, but in my opinion, especially as I've been using, as I've been using FS Passengers for so long, it's just a nice way of having that kind of passenger functionality back. Alright, 1035 is the QNH. Don't think I haven't gave their approach talk yet. They're quite good at that. And again, we never really flew that high, so perhaps I'm not really expecting much out of this. Down to 3,000. I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to do that. Perhaps we will. We'll leave it on the speed brakes for a little bit. It's a very tiny little gap they have given us here. The approach. I mean, the reason I'm trying to get my flaps down as soon as possible is that we can really lower the throttle, start pitching down without causing excess drag. Sets the approach phase. We'll be using, hang on, 1035. Temperature is, should be doing this earlier, but hey, 22 degrees. Wind is 300 at 8. And decision height is 100. We'll use 4 flaps landing. That will do. There you go, Manchester frequency sets. We're down to 5,000 now, so actually, yeah, the descent's not looking too bad for us. But the speed brakes as well. try and spot the airport while we're at it. Is that Manchester? I do believe it is. Cool, so we know where the airport is now at least. Down at 5,000. Go to 4 flaps 4 now. Just try and get this aircraft down as much as possible. Ready to enter the approach. Should be at 3,000 by that point. I mean, if it insists that 2,000 feet per minute is enough, so 800 feet per minute is enough, then who am I to argue with the A320? I am to argue with the A320, am I? Right, let's push it down to 1,200 feet per minute. We're passing through 4,000 shortly. Where'd you get TeamSpeak 3? TeamSpeak 3 can get off their website. Although, if you're looking at using IVAO, then IVAO uses TeamSpeak 2, not 3 for its voice chat. Right, pass through 4,000. TS2, when you're installing VATSIM, it automatically, when you're installing IVAO, it automatically includes the TeamSpeak installer with the package. So just download IVAO, and then when it prompts you at the end, do you want to install TeamSpeak, then yes, you can just install it like that. Both the iVAP and the Altitude clients, I believe, include it. I personally use Altitude. Have a look. 3,000, 3,000. Right, so we are on track to make this. Localizer on. And we'll bring on the diamonds. At this point, we'll just press that again.
2,500.
Alright, making a left-hand turn now. So let's head over the packs. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. Pre-landing checklist. So landing gear not yet down. Cabin check. Spoilers armed. There you go. Now making our left-hand turn. Bring some supply slack at the airport. Gear down. This is XP11. Running the ToLiss A319 and IVAO for traffic, although it's not going to be quite quiet today. And the aircraft will keep holding it to 2,000 until we intercept the localizer a little bit lower than we should be. Should have been up at 3,000, but it won't cause too much of a problem for us. The aircraft will hold at this altitude. Do you own SFD Global? SFD Global. No. At least not what comes to my mind. No worries, Toby. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Alright, so the horizontal will be aligned shortly. Vertical will be a little bit off until the aircraft intercepts the glide slope. Yeah, it's really looking good at the moment. This is all default scene. Actually, I say default. I am using that European open street map scenery. Feels like Open Scenery X Europe or something like that, but very nice add-on. Spending all that money on ToLiss, but not the BSS sound pack. Well, technically my brother's one of the developers of ToLiss, so that's how I've received my copy. Something I do need to state when people ask. So for those who don't know, my brother is Matt Designs, so he does like a lot of texturing work and flood dynamic works and all that. Would have said the same, lol. Right, approach mode set. And so as soon as the diamonds now hits, we will start descending towards the runway. Okay, looking good. While we're here, let's get one quick weather update. One final one. 8 knots, 300. So, the aircraft's going to crab a tiny bit. There's not really much of a crosswind for it to deal. Contact ATC. There is no current ATC at the moment. Currently on Unicom. easyJet 136, last warning contact Helsinki radar on 119.1. Not sure if Helsinki radar's quite managing Manchester, but if they are, then well, it's a fair bit of coverage they got to take care of. Alright, soon pass through 1000. The aircraft is doing a little bit more maneuvering, so we'll keep the autopilot on just for a tad bit longer. Autopilot off. Nice and stable.
200.
Committed.
Minimum.
We are committed.
50. 40. Retard.
Not the nicest landing ever. Fair law always gets me. Yeah, that was not a good landing by any stretch of the imagination. 80 knots, reverse thrust cut. With the ToLiss, with Airbus aircraft in general, I either get really good landings or really pathetic ones. I don't know why. I can never master flare law. Either I let go too early, or I try and fight it and slam down the runway. That was an abysmal touchdown. Alright, it's taxi to the runway. Taxi to the gate, sorry. Landing lights off, taxi lights on. Announce that we clear a runway. Stand by that. Taxi lights are active. APU start. Seconds till the start switch comes on. We'll get a replay of that landing, don't you worry. Yeah, we'll get a replay of that. We'll see how much of a horror show that was. No one's coming that way. No one's coming that way. Runway is cleared to cross. The one aeroplane over there. You're an Air Berlin. You've probably been there for a long time actually, because Air Berlin haven't flown in months. Take this taxiway straight on, follow it around, and then park up to the right. I think try to land like a Boeing, do it all the time. The problem is, so the points of flare law essentially means it takes control of the aircraft to an extent where, as the pilot, you're meant to pull back on the stick to keep it going. Obviously, there I didn't catch. Well, you're not supposed to catch flare law. It's supposed to be a natural movement that you pull back on the stick and let it take control as you normally do. I tried to catch it. You should never catch the flaring of A320 series aircrafts. Alright, so one of these stands over here. That's what we'll be calling it a day for today. Well, planes are meant to be landed. Now, how are you doing, Pro Flight? Welcome to the chat. Actually, you want to stand 16? We'll go to stand 16. Wait for these two to drive by. I was going to say your vid is incorrect, although you know it's correct looking at it right now. You can always ask for a refresher. Worst case scenario, drop an email and see what they can say to you. Stand 16 at Manchester. Probably not the best aligned, given that I took a slightly detoured approach in. Actually, it's not too bad at all, really. Just slightly off centre. Right, parking brake sets. APU bleed active. Engines off. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Manchester, where the local time is 52 minutes past 7 and the local temperature is 22 degrees. We thank you for flying easyJet today. Apologies for the slightly hefty landing there, but we have brought you here with a couple minutes to spare. Thank you for flying easyJet, and we hope to see you again with us in a future flight. Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross-check. Public address, nope. Public address, general, 44 minutes total that was, not bad at all. Here comes Austin's vegan food, interestingly enough. Right, both of those, no fueling, drive them up. Ground power unit as well. Let's bring that over. Head over to the ToLiss screen. Let us bring the doors open and cargo doors. External power we shall also connect, and let's turn that on. AP comes off. Make sure that the lights are also correct as well, so that comes off, and so does the beacon, and no, that comes off as well. Navigation lights stay on. Both sets of doors are open, so we can now allow the passengers to disembark. I just pressed the wrong button there. Cancel that. Expedite boarding. Passengers are now deboarding the aircraft. 3 minutes expected arrival. So in terms of our timing, we got that spot on. It's just a case of how they're going to react to our landing. We're probably going to lose a few satisfaction points for that one. Predicted the stand. I was going to go to 14 initially, but you said 16. We'll give you 16. Right. Let's end all the tracking stuff. So project's flight can end. It's going to add a little bit to our average landing rates. What did actually that record it as? Project's flight saw this as a 559, so yeah, regardless, it was a bad landing. Didn't see how many G's it was though. That's the important one. We'll show that in a second. Let's end tracking. So not end tracking, but IVAO. Thank you. And let's end PAX. End the flights. Satisfied with a 777 feet per minute landing. We're in the air for 37 minutes, so I predicted 36. That's pretty good. Block time 51 minutes out of 55. Hard landing, extreme tech conditions, not safe taxiing, recommend you at work, quick flights. Yeah, actually, passengers seem quite alright about that. It really was just a case of how hard we touched down. Planned departure was 6 o'clock, we departed 6:08. Arrival at 55, we arrived at 46. So, definitely good on the timing there. Right, with nothing else really to look at, let us secure all the exits. In replay mode, ToLiss will leave the doors open if we tell it to leave it open. We'll close that, and then we'll have a look at the landing on replay. So make sure that the cargo doors are closed. As soon as they are. Alright, let's have a look at this landing, shall we? Since the flight was so short, it's quite a fair bit back, the thing there. So, aircraft. Thanks for stream, Drawyah. Even though you saw the last bits of it. See you next time. No worries, man. Probably talk to you later. There you go, aircraft's coming in. There you go. We'll blame it on the crosswinds, the heavy landing. We'll blame it on the crosswind. And we bounced. 2.2 Gs. Yeah, this aircraft will now be inspected for damage because it was just that bad. Right, let's have a quick standing from the outside and cry in shame. Obviously, I did something wrong with the flare there. At this point, we are in manual control of the aircraft, so just a case of balancing it and keeping it on half the runway. It doesn't look too bad from current perspective, but we all know what's coming up shortly. Okay. Yeah, so I retired the engines too late, basically. Actually, cut the audio at least, so it doesn't get too loud. That's fine. Yeah, so, okay. What happened there, I spooled the engines back too late, so we set power on touchdown. That led to the bounce, and the horrible flare there meant that there was no ground effects whatsoever keeping the airplane up. So, a pretty shoddy landing by all aspects, I'm afraid. But hey, it was a short flight. We weren't expecting miracles today. So, yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Do leave a like if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. It's been a good couple of weeks of this channel, so hopefully keep the growth going that way as well. But hey, I think we'll leave that for today. So, take care guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.